Affiliated to this paper, I need freedom for my family line. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping out just an unfamiliar chord and topped off the porch like I could touch the sky. Red is not one trill. The ism talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing, I'm so wavy I could change the tide. My intuition sense the hatred in your ways. You imitated forging lines, claim meaning means that's just to justify. Yeah, right. West side, born maritime. Creole baby, my bloodline. My lungs clouded, my thoughts crowded. Say all I see is these dollar signs. Finna make a play and that sound delay. On mamas, I testify. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Game recognized game. I'm from the Bay, okay, I'm versatile and my slang is different. I'm lane switching with the same people that I came up in this thing with. My head swivel, I'm homebound, got a target back on my backside. The cat peeling with the cast iron, better run for it, run before I catch you. Pick it out, ball it, block it. Trying to stop my blessing. Gamble with your life, don't bet it, don't bet it. They can't stop my blessing. You do best not to test it. Yeah, you right. Real all in my blood supply. Dig it all up top, finna make a play. I cast a lob like I'm Jalen, baby. No co-sign and no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. If I say it twice and I meant it right.
My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. You know co-sign and no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign.
Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everybody who is in the building early. It's good to see each and every one of you. If you can hear me okay, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you cannot hear me or things are looking and sounding bad, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody that's in the building early. All right. Shout out to my man, Jay the Informant. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to Detroit 313. What's good with you, bro? And shout out to everybody else who is in the building who has not said anything yet. It's good to see each and every one of you. All right. So we're going to ask a couple questions today. We're going to look at a couple things. We're going to look at some charts. Bitcoin, a lot of analysts are saying is going to $200,000 by June. All right. We're going to also take a look at retail investors and ask why retail investors do the things that retail investors do versus whales, and why do whales do what whales do. And we're going to ask the question, whose behavior makes the most sense? And as the Bitcoin price gets bigger, so does the flush out gang. So my question for y'all is, who's going to join the flush out gang? I hope ain't none of y'all joining the flush out gang, but who going to join the flush out gang? The first thing we got to do is we got to take a look at what's causing Bitcoin's price to go so high. So we're going to take a look at this clip from Fox Business real quick and see what they time by.
Conference in Manhattan is CFTC Commissioner Summer Mersinger. She's actually going to be leaving in 8 days to become the CEO of the Blockchain Association. That's a nonprofit dedicated to promoting a pro-innovation policy environment for digital assets. Great to have you, Summer. First, the record price of Bitcoin. Tell me what you think is driving that.
The record price of Bitcoin. Shout out to my man Win Loser Rug. What's good with you, bro? My man Win Loser Rug said my 6 cents went off. I ain't mad at you. Yo, that's probably more accurate than the YouTube notifications, right? That's probably more accurate than the YouTube notifications.
I think it's just excitement. Certainly the movement in the stablecoin legislation on the Senate, I think, has kind of invigorated the markets a bit. And
look at that. Shout out to my man Leonard D. Yuta. Yo, my man Leonard D. Yuta said it might pop. Yo, if y'all agree with Leonard, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. $200,000 Bitcoin by June. We're going to take a look. We're going to take a look and see.
It's an exciting time for the industry, and certainly that's definitely driving the price of Bitcoin.
You're leaving the commission soon, the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. This comes after the...
I just want y'all to pay attention to how big of an asset Bitcoin is, right? We already know that Bitcoin has surpassed Amazon, right, in size as far as asset volume in dollars, right? Look at how much money a 3% increase is in Bitcoin. Look at how much money that is. Bitcoin going up 3% is an increase of $3,526. If you're not impressed with that, I don't know what impresses you. You know what I'm saying?
The announcement yesterday that Kristen Johnson, another commissioner, said she was leaving her post. Why is everybody leaving?
Timing it's interesting. I don't think this was anyone.
Shout out to my man William. What's good with it, bro? Good to see you.
Intention, but it's just kind of falling in line where we're all leaving at around the same time. Certainly we have different opportunities come to our door when we least expect it. So while it's kind of unfortunate that we're all going out at the same time, we came in at the same time, so it maybe feels a little fitting. But I do think we've got great leadership coming into the agency. We've got great leadership under existing acting chairman Caroline Pham, and incoming chairman Brian Quintenz is going to do a great job at the agency, and it'll be in good hands once he's confirmed.
What do you think is going to be among his first steps in, of course, the crypto space? The CFTC deals with all kinds of commodities, but with crypto, where do you think regulation is going?
Yeah, there's a lot of clarity that we can provide at the agency. Obviously, we're all anticipating a market structure bill coming out of Congress, but in the meantime, there's a lot we could be doing at the CFTC. I think that incoming Chairman Quintens will spend some time having some listening sessions. We've had some requests for comments out there on perps, on 24/7 trading. Those requests for comments will be ripe when he arrives, and so he'll be able to hold roundtables and public discussions and really, learn more about where the markets are headed. The great thing about the CFTC is
So this is my question for you guys. Where are the markets headed? We all know where the markets are headed, but where are they heading? Shout out to Leonard. Leonard says they speculating the F out of it will make it rise some by default always. Yeah, I got to agree. If you guys agree with Leonard, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. How many people have seen the future expiration dates on the derivatives that people are placing on Bitcoin? If you guys have seen it, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't, give me a thumbs down.
We don't tell the markets where to go, we follow the markets. And this is a great opportunity for him to see where we're headed, where crypto's headed, and how our regulations can respond.
Summer, listen, it's hard sometimes to get timing right. Our timing with you right now is unbelievable. Bitcoin just hit a brand new high of $111,999. I mean, this thing is on the move, definitely. So it's got to have a lot to do with the fact that there might be more clarity when it comes to, obviously, regulation. Gary Gensler, the previous secretary, he is SEC head. He really did. He was very, very stern when it came to all things cryptocurrency. But here's the question. He was with the SEC and he held the reins. Which side of this is going to hold more control over crypto regulation, the CFTC or the SEC?
It's kind of the question that everybody's asking, and I think that the most important piece that you have to realize is, over 80% of the market value for cryptocurrencies are crypto commodities. So I think at the end of the day, the CFTC, the jurisdiction really doesn't actually fall within the CFTC. I think there are kind of two other factors that play an important role here when looking at who's best suited to regulate this market. We are market regulators. That's what we do. That is where we operate best. We have fraud and manipulation, anti-fraud and anti-manipulation enforcement authority over spot crypto.
Look at these Bitcoin ETFs. Look at these Bitcoin ETFs. These Bitcoin ETFs are the way that a lot of these institutions are getting into buying the Bitcoin. They're not buying Bitcoin directly. They're getting the paper Bitcoin, aka Bitcoin ETFs. Now, again, here goes my question, right? To the people that are not impressed, with a $100,000 Bitcoin, my question is, what are these people doing to get rich? What are these people doing to increase the amount of their 401ks? What has everyone done to make themselves affluent? That's my question for you guys. Let me know.
The commodity markets. So we are already monitoring these markets, and we're international. All of our markets are international. These are global markets, and that makes us uniquely qualified to take over jurisdiction. So I think the fact of the matter is most of these cryptocurrencies are commodities, and they really do fit within the CFTC's jurisdiction.
Aside from crypto, you have been a big proponent of the prediction markets and approving at least one of them. That would be Kalshi. And prediction markets, of course, let you bet on all kinds of things like who's going to be the Democratic presidential candidate or the Republican presidential candidate next time around, and also cultural and sports issues. Where do you see that market going? And was there nothing that concerned you about people betting on all kinds of things? I mean, right now we're looking at the political part of the website, but I'm looking at the cultural part, and it says who will win the Nobel Peace Prize. I can't even pronounce the names. I'm not sure they're American. Oscar nominations for Best Picture. The Oscars are far away, but those kinds of things.
Shout out to my man Carlton. What's good with it, bro? Real quick, shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If y'all haven't smashed that like button yet, do me a favor, take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment and hit that bell. Also, please share the stream to your social media.
Well, these markets are legal, and I think that's an important kind of starting point. Is that they're allowed under the statute. They have been in existence under the CFTC's remit for decades. So it's while they seem new, mostly because they're taking off and you're seeing more interest. They're not new, and they certainly have been regulated by a regulated space for quite a while. There's a lot of power in markets. A lot of information can come from a market, and I think that's why you're seeing so much interest in these contract markets, in the participation. I think.
Hey, shout out to Carlton. Hey, we got to get started, bro. We got to get started. Yo, listen, as much as certain people like to pocket watch, right? As much as certain people place and put out budgets on the amount of money that other people got coming in, how could you not be a fan of blockchain? That's my question. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. What's good with her? What's good with her, Brooklyn Queen? Right? You got to ask that question.
What has happened, which is what is unfortunate, is the CFTC.
Look at this. Imagine if the money for Family to Money Gone Academy was on the blockchain. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if the money, that Jay Morrison took from people was on the blockchain. Imagine that. Right. If you ask me, honestly, I think that that's one of the reasons why many of the people who are anti-blockchain, because once you put everything on an accounting ledger on the blockchain, guess what? You can't really say you was tricked. But as long as you're able to say you was tricked, you got to easy out anytime you make a bad judgment. Right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. So anything that places a magnifying glass and gives irrefutable proof that idiotic purchases were made with money, that's kind of like dry snitching. That's kind of like self-dry snitching. You know what I'm saying?
CFTC has missed some opportunities to provide some clarity here. There's still a lot of questions about what is and what is not allowed under the prediction markets, and we missed that opportunity to provide some clarity. And I do think that the incoming chairman will have to spend some time deciding how to best kind of break up, how to decide what is okay and what shouldn't be on these platforms.
Yeah, really quick, because we've got to run, but Poly Market was a rival of Kalshi. It did not get approval. Do you foresee that happening in the next year?
I'm not sure if they have an active, application. So, that's hard to say. But we're seeing a lot of new people in the CFTC applying and coming into our space. So I certainly wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
Shout out to Detroit 313. Shout out to my man, DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo said, did you see ABC News and leftist media is putting crypto in a negative light? Hey, that's consistent with monolithian logic, right? That's consistent with monolithian logic. Yo, if you guys see any of these anti-cryptocurrency videos and stuff like that, make sure y'all shoot them to me. We'll react to them. Right? We'll react to them. And again, you got to understand the hustle. You got to understand the hustle of victimhood, right? You got to understand the hustle of the helplessness grift, right? You got to understand all of that. In order for a lot of these people, Democrats included, to be able to continue making money, they basically use your idea of wealth as their exit liquidity. They need you to be dependent on them. Man, yo, Detroit, throw it in the Discord if you can. You know what I'm saying? Throw it in the Discord.
But they'll go through the same application process that Kalshi went through, and the commission will do the due diligence it needs to do to make sure that there are the appropriate customer protections when those markets come live into the United States.
Summer Mersinger, good luck with your next job. Feels a little bit like a lobbyist. We'll be watching all of your actions, so please come back.
So there's that. All right. So now next what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the flush out gang. We're going to talk about the whales. All right. We got to figure out why the flush out gang moves like the flush out gang. Why does the flush out gang move like the flush out gang, ladies and gentlemen? We've seen this. We've heard this. Bigger Bitcoin wallets are stacking while others sell. Now, let me ask you guys the question. Who do you think it is that's selling? Yeah, BCN is getting that work. ZBCN is going ham. Facts. Santiment says Bitcoin key stakeholders are mostly moving in the right direction if you're rooting for $100,000 Bitcoin. Now, you know, we already got $100,000 Bitcoin. This article is old, right? It's from May 7th. But the reason why we're going over this article is because this article gives a good financial psychological lesson, right? And now look at this. We got more people swagger jacking. Las Vegas, embrace game theory. Everybody embracing everything, right? You know, embrace villainy. Everybody embracing everything, right? You know what I'm saying? Do like Twister said, take that, use your mouth and warm embrace. Right? Shout out to my man AB Promotions, Joe. I appreciate it, bro. AB Promotions is the first person on the board. I definitely appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all show my man AB Promotions some love for funding the organization. Definitely appreciate you, bro.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
It's fake. It's fake. I don't mess around and rob this police officer of his wallet or of his watch, and it's fake. You know what I'm saying? Now look what large Bitcoin holders have done. Large Bitcoin holders, and according to this article, they're generously considering large Bitcoin holders wallets with greater than 0.1% Bitcoin, right? So shout out to the majority of us, right? Because the majority of us have more than 0.1 Bitcoin, right? Yeah. Right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Shout out to William. William said, I think March of Dimes marched off into the sunset. Bro, they probably did. You know what I'm saying? With a big sack of money behind them. You know what I'm saying? Large Bitcoin holders have accumulated 81,338 Bitcoin over the past week, showing confidence in a future price uptrend. Now, here's my question, right? This is what I don't understand. How can they say large Bitcoin holders have accumulated only 81,338 Bitcoin when companies like MicroStrategies, MetaPlanet, you know what I'm saying, countries like El Salvador are constantly accumulating Bitcoin? Are they considering these institutional and government entities and organizations Bitcoin whales? What's going on here? Shout out to my man AB Promotions. Make sure y'all throw some flames in the chat for AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, I'm in the 10% club. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my 10%ers. Right? If you part of the 10% club, throw some flames in the chat. Somebody throw some flames in the chat for me. You know what I'm saying? Wallets with less than 10% of a Bitcoin sold around 290 Bitcoin. Look, now again, this right here is, this shows you why the rich people stay rich and the broke people stay broke. And this is why I say rich people deserve to be rich, poor people deserve to be poor. Why are rich people buying 81,338 Bitcoin and broke people who can't afford to sell Bitcoin are selling 290 Bitcoin? Indicating that smaller retail investors are either panic selling or selling out of boredom. You know, I'm bored, so I'm just going to, go broke. I'm just make myself broke because I'm bored. I mean, who does it? Who does these kind of things? You know who does them. Right? Spot Bitcoin ETFs have seen 4.41 billion in inflows since March 26th. So the ETFs are getting money, right? And large Bitcoin holders are buying. While larger Bitcoin holders remain confident and continue accumulating the asset, data from a crypto analytics platform shows that smaller retail investors have been shedding Bitcoin amid the asset's prolonged consolidation below the $100,000 price level. Why are retail investors investing in Bitcoin like it's a new car. Why are they doing that? I'm going to buy at the high price and sell at the low price. Why are they doing that? Retail investors want to be exit liquidity for whales. You know what I'm saying? The contrasting behavior between Bitcoin whales and retail investors often signal that Bitcoin may be headed towards another upward trend, Santiment said in a May 6X post. So what happens is that this is indicative of poor people wanting to give rich people their money. You know, this is like fraction of a cost. Look at how many Bitcoin the whales bought. They bought 81,000. You know what I'm saying? The guppies, the minnows, sold 290 Bitcoin, and you know the whales bought them up. So again, this is another example of broke fools want to give people that have more money than them their money. They want to do this. They desire to do this. They live to get on their knees and wear their jeans down to a dental floss thickness, right? And then just hand over their money to rich people. Why do they do it? Why do they do it? That's my question for everybody. Why do they do it? Bitcoin's smaller players show cold feet. The flush out gang. Throw some toilets in the chat. Just the flush out gang right here. When large wallets gradually accumulate in tandem with retail panic selling out of boredom, it is generally a strong long-term sign of prices bidding their time before another breakout, Santiment said. Bitcoin wallet holders with between 10 and 10,000 Bitcoin have accumulated a combined 81,338 Bitcoin over the past 6 weeks since March 26th. All right. So again, pay attention to the strategy, right? Pay attention to why the people who have the Bitcoin. It's because they're not doing 50 IQ stuff. Right? It's because they're not doing 50 IQ stuff. They're doing stuff that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin wallet holders with between 10 and 10,000 Bitcoin have accumulated a combined 81,338 Bitcoin over the past 6 weeks since March 26th. This represents a 0.061% increase in cohort's total holdings. Santiment said this could trigger a potential retest of the psychological $100,000 price level in the near future, as we have seen, right? We've gone beyond $100,000, right? We're now hovering at between 108 and 112. Shout out to AB Promotions. Yeah, 50 IQ, bro. 50 IQ. You know what I'm saying? 50 IQ. You know what I'm saying? Doing stupid stuff. Having milk. Look, these are the people that's having the milk throwing fights at the gas stations in Detroit, right? As May progresses, Bitcoin's key stakeholders are mostly moving in the right direction if you're rooting for $100,000 Bitcoin in the near future. So retail investors, you know what I'm saying, people that have less than 10% of a Bitcoin, they're coming into the market messing things up. You're messing stuff up. You know what I'm saying? They messing stuff up. They're taking their poor life decisions into finance. I'm going to just be dumb as hell, right, at everything that I do. So I'm going to buy some Bitcoin and be dumb. I'm going to buy it and sell it. Why? You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they're dumb. You know what I'm saying? Now look at what, shout out to us, right? Because we don't qualify for this. However, Bitcoin wallets with less than 0.01 Bitcoin sold off approximately 290 Bitcoin over the same period. We know that this asset is going to over $1 million. I just got to give it away to the people that already got a bunch of money. Man, how stupid are these people, man? Listen, man. Shout out to my man, Al McCowan. What's good with it, bro? Listen, man. Since March 26th, Bitcoin has traded between $76,273 and $97,210. Now, let me ask you guys this question. During this time, right? During this time when Bitcoin were these prices, do you guys remember the streams, right? I've cut down on the streams, right? Why? Because I'm in love with the Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? I'm in love with the Bitcoin. I don't move like I'm in love with the cocoa. I move like I'm in love with the Bitcoin. Shout out to Win Lose a Rug. Win Lose a Rug said they don't understand compounding interest. Bro, facts. Facts. Shout out to Detroit 313. Makes no damn sense. Right. And you know what we dealing with? Anti-logic, right? Anti-logic, moving double standards, right? So again, you see the pattern expand into the financial space. Shout out to AB Promotions. These people want all of the rewards without any of the risks. Facts. If you guys agree with my man AB, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Facts. Now, what should you have been doing at these price levels? Remember, put the alerts in the phone, yada, yada, yada. I mean, you know what I'm saying? What should people have been doing at 76,273? What should people have been doing at 97,210? Stacking Satoshis, right? Bitcoin. Now, so as you guys can see, you can tell by the price, the time period of this article, right? Bitcoin is trading at $96,360 at the time of this publication. Bitcoin fell below $100,000 on February 1st after U.S. President Donald Trump announced his tariffs and has yet to reclaim that price level. As we know, this is all old news. Meanwhile, spot Bitcoin ETF holders have accumulated over the same period, with U.S.-based spot Bitcoin ETFs totaling $4.41 billion in inflows since March 26, according to Farside data. So I want you guys to understand, we got the formula, right? We've got the formula. Now, again, let me ask you guys this question. Do the black light financial formula work? If it does, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't, give me a thumbs down. But people still sit there and talk about they broke. Bitcoin dominance continues to soar. Let me ask you guys this question. If Bitcoin dominance continues to soar in the way that Bitcoin dominance has been soaring, how are we going to ever have another mathematical altcoin season is my question. How is that going to happen? Is that a possibility? My man DSB in the building. You know what I'm saying? Gifting y'all the memberships. I appreciate it, bro. Please make sure y'all show my man DSB some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man DSB for funding the organization and standing on business.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Definitely appreciate you, bro. Good to see you also, as always, man. Now, look, check this out, man. We got to ask some more questions, right? The next question that we got to ask is about the Bitcoin Treasury Index, right? The Bitcoin Treasury Index. Let me ask you guys this question. The Bitcoin Treasury Index, will these companies' stock prices outperform the S&P 500? If they will, give me a thumbs up. If they won't, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to my man, We Next DSB, for jumping on the board again. Definitely appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all show DSB some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man DSB for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
Definitely appreciate you, bro. Definitely appreciate you. The overall crypto market is still concentrated around Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance reached 65% on May 6th, the highest reading since January of 2021, according to TradingView data. Now, let me ask you guys this question. If Bitcoin goes to $200,000, right, in June, what's that going to do to the Bitcoin dominance? What's that going to do to the Bitcoin dominance? Let me know in the chat. Shout out to my man DSB. I appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all show DSB some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man DSB for standing on business.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Standing on business. At the time of publication, the metric is 65.19. Meanwhile, CoinMarketCap's altcoin season index still reads Bitcoin season, indicating that the market is favoring Bitcoin over altcoins. And like I said, the Bitcoin is such a large percentage of the market. The fact that Bitcoin is doing so well, people are saying that cryptocurrency is doing well. Cryptocurrency is not doing real well. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin is doing real well. You know what I'm saying? ZBEC or network or whatever the name of that token is. What's the name of that token? Detroit 313. That token is doing well. SuiSwap is doing well. Pepe is doing well. Everything's not doing well. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin is doing amazing. Everything's not doing well. You know what I'm saying? Ethereum is irritating me like it's been irritating me for the last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? While several analysts have been eyeing new all-time highs by the end of June, Bitfinex analysts recently said that Bitcoin needs to continue to hold above the 95,000 level to climb back and retest all-time high or face an even deeper correction. Hey, I wouldn't be mad at an even deeper correction. I'm not mad at the price we at right now. That's the beauty of holding Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Whatever way, whatever direction it goes in, is helping you out. ZBEC Networks, thank you. Shout out to Detroit 313. Make sure y'all keep this. This is a Solana token, right? This Solana token is related to real world assets, right? Real world assets. Okay. RWA. All right. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, Rob, I saw your question in the Discord and I'm still researching it. While searching, AI predicted that Bitcoin will outperform the S&P 500 eventually. I mean, if Bitcoin continues to be less volatile than the S&P 500, right? Well, let's just look at it like this, right? Let's look at the S&P 500. Are people creating S&P 500 reserves all over the world? S&P 500 reserves, for the most part, already exist. Is there an explosion of them? Is the rate of S&P 500 reserves increasing? Probably not in a fast amount, right? There is an explosive exponential amount of Bitcoin strategic reserves being created. Simply by that metric, there will be a point when Bitcoin surpasses the S&P 500. Just based on the math. And we know that's what artificial intelligence based the answer on, right? Now look at this. BlackRock Bitcoin ETF clocks in 16 days of inflow as Bitcoin reclaims $97,000. Now, let me ask you guys this question. If you bought Bitcoin at $97,000 at the current price, how much money have you made in dollars? Right? Now, mind you, those are old Bitcoin ETF prices, old Bitcoin ETF information. Right? Let's look at some new Bitcoin ETF information, or let's look at some new Bitcoin information. Let's look at some new Bitcoin information. Look at this right here. Let's see. There we go. You see this right here? Raul Powell predicts 140,000 in Bitcoin by July. Says key metric flashing bullish signal for Bitcoin. 140,000. Now, let me ask you guys this question. If you got 1/10 of a Bitcoin, how much money will you have if Bitcoin goes, or I shouldn't say if, when, right? When Bitcoin goes to $140,000. So again, this is free money. Every time somebody's not using Bitcoin, they're giving rich people their money, and then they turn around and say, we're broke. So again, you got to understand dynamics. And this is one of the reasons why I say there should be no sympathy. I don't say that there should be no sympathy for no reason. I don't say that there should be no sympathy for a grift. I say that there should be no sympathy because I disagree with the degeneration of the human condition. It is absolutely disgusting to me, the baseline stupidity that most people display. You know what I'm saying? Real Vision founder and macro expert Raul Pal believes Bitcoin will go higher over the coming weeks. In a new video, Pal tells his 236,000 YouTube subscribers that the global money supply, global M2, is tightly correlated with the price of Bitcoin. Of course it is, because that's the only thing you buy in Bitcoin with. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, dropping gems like that to get you 236,000 subs. You know what I'm saying? Helping people, you know, surpass their 401k. You know what I'm saying? I have you with only 10 people in the chat. Right? That's what we're dealing with. That's the reality of what we're dealing with. These are our peers. This is what we're surrounded by. These are the people that we live next to. So when we get rich and they stay where they are, they deserve to be where they are. They're paying for their misery right now. And you should always get what you pay for, right? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says, according to the macro guru, the global money supply metric is now suggesting that Bitcoin could go up by around 28% from the current level. But at this point, it's the price of Bitcoin really driven by liquidity. It gave us a 3-month heads up to exactly the correction of around $75,000 in April. And yet Twitter said it's about tariffs. It's about the end of the world. It told you, it's telling you, and it told you it would be at all-time highs. I told you it will be at all-time highs by May. It tells you we should be over $140,000 by July. All right, so we're going to pay attention to this metric. $140,000 by July. So we got all these price predictions. I got to update my phone, right? $140,000. All right. $140,000 by June. Now I'm about to start taking a look at this individual's channel, right? I've seen him referenced before, but I've never watched his channel. I didn't know he had a YouTube channel. This must be it down here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm gonna be taking a look at that, seeing what's popping with that, right? And again, you know, you see he got the 239,000 subscribers. That's the difference when your people will make you great, right? That's the difference when your people will make you great. Paul further says that the price of Bitcoin will at some point start rising faster than the increasing global money supply before trending in the opposite direction. Okay. Now, why is that? Well, that's more than likely going to be because of some form of hyperinflation, right? That's more than likely going to be some form of hyperinflation. Okay. I know it will decouple later in the cycle, and it will decouple to the upside with Bitcoin outperforming global M2. That's how it works when the crowd comes in. The herd gets FOMO, the fear of missing out, right? So, and again, right now, what we're dealing with is the idea of the institutional FOMO. You know what I'm saying? We got my man FOMO Saki in the chat right now. You know what I'm saying? They get greedy, and it actually starts outperforming. Then when the market flips, it eventually starts to underperform as fear kicks in. When it starts to underperform as fear kicks in, that's when it's time to start doing what? That's when it's time to start doing what? Very basic stuff, right? Not difficult concepts at all. Not difficult concepts at all. You know what I'm saying? Very easy. Very, very, very common sense, right? But again, we get evidence time after time that common sense is not common. Shout out to my man John Guillory. What's good with it, bro? We get evidence time and time again that common sense is not common. And the people that display a lack of common sense, they need to be reminded that they don't have any sense. You know what I'm saying? They need to be reminded that they don't have any common sense. You know how they always ask the question, have you done anything nice for somebody today? Here's my question for you guys. Have you guys called somebody an idiot today? If you haven't, you probably should, because I'm almost certain that you've either walked past, driven past, or even talked to one. Right? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. New all-time high incoming for Bitcoin soon, according to economist and trader Alex Kruger. But there's a catch. All right, what's the catch? What's the catch? Economist and trader Alex Kruger believes Bitcoin is primed to go higher over the coming weeks, driven by one catalyst. Kruger tells his 210,500. Look at that. 210,500. Other guy had 260,000. This is what happens when your people make you great. This is what happens when your people make you great. Right? You get like that. I don't get like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't get like that. You feel me? On the social media platform X, that he is expecting Bitcoin to hit $120,000 in June. That's a pretty safe prediction. It's a pretty safe prediction. Pretty tightly conservative prediction. That's a tightly conservative prediction, right? From the current price, what percentage increase will get us to $120,000? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. She's spoken to several idiots this morning. Brooklyn Queen, we feel for you. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man John Guillory. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? Again, you know, it's liberating. Call somebody dumb. You know what I'm saying? Do the world a favor, right? According to the widely followed economist and trader, the proposed distribution of approximately $5 billion to creditors of the collapsed crypto exchange FTX at the end of May will serve as a bullish catalyst for Bitcoin. I think this is, I don't know, you know, I don't disagree with the possibilities of the price increase, but as far as this being so heavily weighted as a contributing factor to Bitcoin's price upside, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. I know how I feel about it. I don't agree with it. We're going to just go all the way. We're going to let it fly. You know what I'm saying? Kruger thinks that the funds will re-enter the crypto market as the creditors will mostly be the large claim holders. But the economist warns that Bitcoin could turn bearish in early July amid the uncertainty caused by the dispute over tariffs. Okay. Now, here goes my thing. We've been dealing with tariffs this entire time, and Bitcoin is held at like 85% of the all-time high. So why would there be a sudden turn? Yeah, shout out to Windows or Rug. Windows or Rug said that's only 12 grand. He think he's smart, right? That boy think he's doing something. You know what I'm saying? That boy think he moving the world, you know? Shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory said about an 11% increase to 120,000 from today's price. Facts. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm not real impressed with this, but I'll take the $120,000 prediction. I'll take the $120,000 prediction. Now, let me ask you guys this question. We started on this article yesterday, right? But we didn't finish it. We're going to go over it again. And the reason why we're going to go over it again is because we're going to talk about this concept of institutional FOMO. Shout out to everybody watching. If you guys haven't hit the like button yet, do me a favor. Take a moment, hit the like button. Also, if you guys haven't shared the stream to your social media, take a moment, share the stream to your social media. Also, make sure you hit the link and join the Discord. All right. Firms are adding Solana to corporate treasuries, but Bitcoin still leads the way. Corporations of all kinds are investing in Bitcoin as well as Solana as the trend of holding crypto on balance sheets begins to accelerate, which, again, this is just the basic crypto principle of hold, right? Adding crypto to corporate treasuries is a clear and growing trend. It's not just Bitcoin. So how many people would agree that this is institutional FOMO? If you guys would agree that this is institutional FOMO, give me a thumbs up. If you would disagree and you don't think that this is institutional FOMO, then give me a thumbs down and let me know what you think that it is. Solana's soul is also entering the mix. As companies build treasuries, they can shake and as a gateway to the broader Solana ecosystem. And again, remember, holding cryptocurrency also gets you voting rights on some of the world's most powerful blockchains. So you're literally buying votes, something that people say that should be done through politics and lobbying. But when it comes to your own personal wealth, they say that you just get air. Right? Right? The recent increase in corporations allocating Bitcoin and now Solana to their treasuries reflects a shift in how companies manage risk and seek growth, said Todd Ruoff, CEO of Autonomy's Labs, in comments to The Defiant. Bitcoin has been favored for its value proposition as digital gold, acting as a hedge against currency devaluation. So listen, everybody that complains again about inflation, oh my goodness, the price of gas just going up. Oh Lord have mercy. You know what I'm saying? A dozen eggs is $12.99. You know what I'm saying? All right, then just buy some Bitcoin. And don't if you want to just hedge against the inflation, don't necessarily hold the Bitcoin if you can't afford it, but use the Bitcoin so that you're not paying $12 for eggs. You know what I'm saying? Do you guys remember those streams from a long time ago when I said, people need to inflation proof themselves and, you need to protect your purchasing power and all of that stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing that's crazy about it, especially, when it comes to me, right? It's like you may as well just be talking to a brick wall for the most part. You may as well just be talking to a brick wall. People complaining about prices, but don't do anything to protect themselves from predatory pricing, and then want to cry about it. And then somebody else is supposed to solve the problem. I mean, I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? I don't think so. I think that people should solve their own problem. You know what I mean? Shout out to Detroit 313. Detroit 313 said, meanwhile, the price would eventually come down after the national deficit was abolished. Yeah, facts. Right? People rather search the internet to try to find ways that somebody did something to them. Did nobody do nothing to you? You know what I'm saying? As much as half these people cry, they wouldn't be able to tolerate somebody doing something to them anyway. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin accumulation, however, still stole the show this week. On April 23rd, a group of major crypto and finance firms announced the formation of a new entity, 21 Capital, which plans to compete with Michael Saylor's strategy by launching with a solid 42,000 Bitcoin in its treasury, worth about $3.9 billion. I want you guys to understand what's going on here. There is a race between corporations and there's a race between governments to get as much Bitcoin as they can. Let me ask you guys this question. What is that going to do to the long-term price trajectory? What is that going to do to the long-term price trajectory of Bitcoin? The primary investors in 21 Capital, which will be led by Bitcoin payments processor Strike's founder Jack Mallers, are leading stablecoin issuer Tether and its sister exchange Bitfinex, with SoftBank as a minority owner. The public firm will launch via a SPAC merger with a firm affiliated with financial services giant Cantor Fitzgerald. That would make it the third largest public holders of Bitcoin after Strategy, leading the pack by far with a staggering 538,200 Bitcoin, worth about $50,702,266,602 at current prices. And Bitcoin miner Marathon Digital Holdings with more than 47,000 Bitcoin. All right, let me ask you guys this question. Marathon Digital, are they publicly traded? We need to look into them. Yeah, I gotta agree. If you guys agree with Brooklyn Queen, it better drive it up without any manipulation. Give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Privately held Block.1 and Tether both have more than 100,000 Bitcoin, according to Bitcoin Treasuries Net. Okay. Then there's Japan's Metaplanet, another Bitcoin treasury firm, which on April 24th announced the acquisition of its 5,000th Bitcoin. The firm plans to reach 10,000 by the end of the year, CEO Simon Jirovich said on X. On a smaller but still significant scale last week, Japanese fashion retailer ANAP, ANAP, bought 70 million worth of Bitcoin, citing what it called an irreversible global trend towards Bitcoin becoming a reserve asset. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. Oh, that's Mara. Okay, bet. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How many people have started asking themselves the question, what percentage of my paycheck will I allocate to Bitcoin to hold? Because I'm telling you, if these companies are doing it, people should do what these companies are doing. Then you can get with other people that you're friends with and put your Bitcoin together and create a holding company and just sit there and say, we hold XYZ amount of Bitcoin. Shout out to AB Promotion. AB Promotion said, I have. Yeah, me too. Me too. You know what I'm saying? Also, last week, Similar Scientific settled a Department of Justice suit and announced plans to raise $500 million to buy more Bitcoin. I want to ask you guys this question. What do these trends say? What do the trends say? What are people doing with their money? You know what I'm saying? Rethinking the role of crypto. Nope, it's a scam. Nope. Rethink your cryptocurrency's role. If you don't like cryptocurrency and you have cryptocurrency, send it all to me. Right? That's what we want. Send it all to me. Shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell, please take a moment, hit the bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. The more U.S. public companies might rethink the role of crypto in their corporate treasury management as they navigate the complicated global trade environment. This is coming from Bloomberg. Bloomberg intelligence strategist Lou Young and Brianne Doherty wrote on April 22nd. Bitcoin has been less volatile than stocks since the April 2nd tariff shock. Continued price stability could prompt more crypto adoption in corporate treasuries. Okay. Many more companies are embracing Bitcoin treasuries. Facts. If you guys agree with Win, Lose, or Rug, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Win, Lose, or Rug said, same people saying it's a scam are the ones sports betting. Yeah. They're brilliant. We have brilliant people amongst us. Aren't you guys thrilled? Many more companies are embracing Bitcoin treasuries. Indeed, on April 24th, Fidelity Digital Assets said on X that it has seen Bitcoin supply on exchanges dropping due to public company purchases, something we anticipate accelerating in the near future. If only my people would make me great. Didn't I tell you a long time ago that all the Bitcoin, for the most part, has already been bought up? It's only valid when Fidelity says it. I want y'all to pay attention. I'm not mad at that. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said minimum 10%. I'm tithing for Bitcoin. Pay your tithe. You know what I'm saying? That's what Gambit said. You know what I'm saying, on the X-Men. You know what I'm saying, back in 2007. The thieves came with the tithe. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, they saying Solana is rising. I don't necessarily know about a Solana digital currency stockpile. I don't know. I don't necessarily know. See, because here's the problem, right? People are like, just what they're doing with Solana is we're taking Solana and creating a digital stockpile with it. Solana does not have the same price behavior and the same use case as Bitcoin. So you can't just say MicroStrategy's created all this value buying Bitcoin. We're going to buy just whatever. My thing with Solana is, you might want to stake Solana. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might want to utilize Solana for some of the other on-chain things. But if you think you're going to get a Bitcoin result using Solana, and I'm not saying that in a bad way to drag Solana, you're just not. You're just not going to get a Bitcoin result using Solana. You'll get a Solana result using Solana, whatever that might be. Solana has some good benefits about it, like the staking and all of that. You know what I'm saying? You can easily make apps that can utilize the Solana blockchain to, expand their business practices and different things like that. But to expect MicroStrategy's return, you would have to actually recreate the MicroStrategy's return conditions. You can't just buy a coin and expect the same thing to happen. And also, you have to have a strategy. Right? I'm not, remember when we first talked about these, we talked about that company called Soul Strategies, right? And I was asking, well, what is their actual strategy? What do they plan on doing with their Solana? What do they plan on doing with the Solana stockpile? You know what I'm saying? So it says, while agreeing that Bitcoin is the digital gold category, Michael Riptini, co-founder and CEO of the firm behind Soul staking protocol Marinade Finance, told the Defiant that there is a generational shift in how companies think about storing value. When you zoom out, this is less about crypto and more about rethinking the foundations of money itself. What do you think about that? Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, "Where's the Solana phone?" I think it's out there. The Solana phone is out there. I don't know if it's like a bunch of people bought it or anything like that, but it's definitely out there. I want you guys to take a look at this, and I want you guys to read this, and I want you guys to remember this article, because this article is going to be very indicative of how many people are locked out of any future wealth. Okay. But he added in an email, there's a second wave forming. Companies beginning to hold Solana in their treasuries, not just for value storage, but as part of being actively aligned with a growing ecosystem. Solana isn't just an asset, it's a high-performance financial operating system. Now, I find it interesting that they just jumped right to Solana. Like, they didn't explore Ethereum or anything like that, but, okay, sure. This week alone, 2 companies added Solana to their corporate treasuries. Consumer products firm Upexi announced on April 21st that it is raising $100 million from more than a dozen venture capital firms and angel investors to be used to build a Solana treasury. All right. So I want you guys to see, it looks like there's a trend of companies also trying to replicate the Bitcoin treasury idea by utilizing Solana. In theory, what should that do to the Solana price? Now, I want to ask you guys this. Where do you think institutional FOMO will take Solana? Where will institutional FOMO take Solana? Yeah. If you guys agree with John Guillory, throw some flames in the chat. So when people say, well, who's doing what with cryptocurrency? These are the people that are doing stuff with cryptocurrency. The people who already have more money than you. You know what I'm saying? The people who, if you want to have a wallet measuring contest, the people who already have more money than you are doing this. You know what I'm saying? The firm and lead investor in the venture, GSR, cited confidence in Solana's ecosystem and technical performance. Look at this. Apexi's shares surged more than 400% on the news. So there's a trend here, right? And the trend is, if you want your stock price to have an immediate surge in price, simply announce we're going to be buying some form of cryptocurrency. You know what I'm saying? If you having money problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 Satoshis and Solana ain't one. Hit me. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Later in the week, on April 23rd, DeFi Development Corporation announced it was adding 65,305 Solana to its treasury, worth approximately 9.76 million at the time of writing. I mean, again, you know, it's not really an easy task to buy Solana like it's meme coins. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's the right question. Just like the old professor said on iRobot. That's the right question. But crypto is a scam. How is this so? Right. The addition brings the total to 317,273 Solana, more than $47 million at current prices. Now, you know they're staking this, right? You know that they're staking this. You know what I'm saying? You know that they're staking this. So what's going on while they're staking this? What's going on while they're staking this? The addition brings the total to 317,273 Solana, more than 47 million at current prices. The firm said that a portion of the Solana it buys is locked in various vesting schedules, venture allocations, or other lockups. All right. Let me ask you guys this question. How many people are staking? How many people are staking? I'm trying to create staking for myself as a big form of passive income. A big form of passive income. Big passive income. Here's my question. Why are people not utilizing passive income? Why are people not trying to create passive income for themselves? What do you guys think? Yeah. Shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory says stacking tokens and coins are becoming very valuable. I see. Yeah. Yeah. That same day, Solana Strategies, a Solana infrastructure investment firm, announced that it has secured $500 million in financing to purchase Solana. Similar to MicroStrategy's playbook for Bitcoin, the firm will issue convertible notes, the capital from which will be specifically used to buy Solana. However, in what the firm called a first of its kind in digital asset financing, the Solana holdings will be staked on validators that the firm operates, with yield shared between the firm and convertible notes investors. Solana isn't just an asset, it's a high-performance financial operating system. Repenti told Defiant. All right. So again, thoughts. Look at look at this. BlackRock's build hits new highs on CDeFi and Euler activations. I mean, it's just it's going to the people that want to make money. It's out there, right? To the people that want to make money, it's out there. To the people that want to stay broke, that's out there too. It's out there too. Yeah, facts. Shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory said, I'm staking every coin that I have that is able to be staked. Facts. How many people out here staking SuiSwap? If you've been staking SuiSwap, you really made some nice money over the last couple weeks. You've really made some nice money over the last couple weeks. And again, you don't share it with it. Don't share it. You know what I'm saying? Why would you share your hard-earned money with people who had the same opportunity as you and chose not to? Why would you do it? You know what I'm saying? Anytime anybody expects you to share any of your wealth, reorient them on why they're broke. You know what I'm saying? If you guys would agree that that's the appropriate move, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. All right. Now, shout out to y'all, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the stream. I know it's shorter than it usually is, but I got stuff I got to do, so I got to bounce. All right. But I might put up another one tonight. All right. So I'm going to shout out to people that contributed to the stream. I definitely appreciate y'all. Shout out to my man, AB Promotions. I appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all show my man, AB Promotions, some love for funding the organization. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to my man, DSB. I appreciate you as always, bro. Shout out to my man, DSB again. We got to hit him on the again side. Again! All right. And shout out to my man, DSB again. Again! All right. Definitely appreciate it. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
how do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the marching dimes.
Time I did, I pay my dues affiliated to this paper. I need freedom for my family line. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping off just an unfamiliar coordinate. Topped off the porch like I could touch the sky. Red is not one trip. The ism talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing. I'm so wavy, I could change the tide. My intuition sense the hatred in your ways. You imitated, forging lines, claim meaning means that's just to justify. Yeah, right. West side, born maritime. Creole baby, my bloodline. My lungs clouded, my thoughts crowded. Say all I see is these dollar signs. Finna make a play and that's on delay. On mamas, I testify. Run for it. Run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing. Looking for the funds. Run for it. Run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing. Looking for the funds. Run for it. Run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing. Looking for the funds. Run for it. Run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing. Looking for the funds. Yeah, ain't recognize game. I'm from the Bay, okay, I'm versatile and my slang was different. I'm lane switching with the same people that I came up in this thing with. My head swivel, I'm homebound, got a target back on my backside. The cat peeling with the cast iron, better run for it. Run before I catch you. Niggas out ball and block it. Trying to stop my blessing. Gamble with your life. Don't bet it, don't bet it. They can't stop my blessing. You do best not to test it. Yeah, you right. Real all in my blood supply. Get ball up top, finna make a play. I cast a lob like I'm Jalen, baby. No co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission, it's a $sign. If I say it twice, then I meant it right.
My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission, it's a $sign. You know, co-signer, no co-pilot. They pip-tiles, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission, it's a $sign.
Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds.